Okay. Sharing my screen. Okay, cool. How do I play this? Um, oh, how do you play? File. Present. Where's the present button? Oh, here we go. Okay, so Vessel by 21 Pilots, and its portrayal of mental health, one of my favorite albums of all time. So let's get into it. Okay, so I started off with what is mental health? Mental health would be pretty much how a person's feeling overall when it comes to mentally, psychologically, their well-being, how they're feeling emotionally, how they're doing. This can be referred to on a daily basis. They can be referred to on a long-term basis. Um, and mental health can affect so many things like how a person functions, how a person works, how a person thinks. Personally, I am affected by this, as is everyone else. How I'm feeling, when we're going to work and when we're going to school, how we're feeling with motivation and that kind of thing, how we're dealing with the stress and just daily life. So mental health, excuse me, can affect anyone at any time. It doesn't matter how old you are, like any aspects about you. It can affect anyone at any point in your life, and it probably will affect everyone at some point in their lives. So if it can affect everyone, then what causes it? Well, a lot of things can cause it. Biological things like genetics, there are genetic mental disorders, hormonal things, a lot of people going through puberty are known for having being a little more negative about things. People with past trauma are way more likely to be affected by mental illnesses like violence, adverse childhood experiences, just things they've seen in the past. They're more likely to affect their future when it comes to their mental state and mind. Um, Psychological factors like stress, self-esteem. A lot of people don't like the way they look or give themselves off, and that can affect how they're thinking in their daily lives. So, how does Vessel talk about this? Well, they have a lot of songs in this album that really do a good job of bringing out some of these topics. I kind of just went with a few songs and pick some lyrics, and I'm going to explain how I think um, how they do a good job. So, I'm taking over my body, back in control, no more shoddy. This can kind of explain how it can be hard to have control over yourself sometimes when you're feeling stressed, anxious, when you can tell that your mental health is not good in that moment and it's hard to keep control of yourself. Um, Remember the moment, you know exactly where you're going. Next moment, time is slowing. It's kind of like when you're having an attack and you're just like everything slows down and you're like, hold on, hold on, hold on, everything's going crazy. So the next one is like fight it, take the pain, ignite it. Talking about how trying to grab hold of these feelings and how to take control of your body when you're feeling out of control, which is obviously not a very easy thing to do with these mental health issues. So on to the next one. Car Radio, very good song, classic, um, very hard hitting for some people. We go, sometimes quiet is violent. I find it hard to hide it. I mean, it's talking about what the context of the song is like he just got his car radio stolen, and that car radio kind of represents a form of comfort. a distraction from the mental health issues, the bad thoughts and all that kind of stuff. And when it gets taken away, he's just overwhelmed by that quiet because the quiet is what brings out these bad thoughts. And he talks about how that quiet causes him to ponder something terrifying. There's nothing to hide behind. The sound from the car radio is what hid those bad thoughts. And he's just thinking about, we're all battling fear. Oh no, like all these thoughts just getting worse and worse and worse. And the only thing that was helping that was the car radio. So I mean, this could be said for a lot of people when it comes to like comforting. Um, a lot of people struggling with these issues, they have outlets. They've got some sort of comfort in these struggles. And obviously you can't just stay in your comfort zone forever. So I mean, there are just these experiences where you gotta struggle without your comforts, and you're just gonna have to go through those issues. And this song really highlights that. Guns for Hands, a really good one. So this one talks about like how a lot of people are having these really bad thoughts about suicide, and I really like how they approach this one because um they're talking about how the writer himself is scared of these people listening to his music hurting themselves. Like he's holding them accountable basically for keeping him sane, which is like he's making them feel like, hey, like these people care about me. I need to, keep myself um alive and, healthy. So, it shows where your mind is going. You swear to your parents that'll never happen again. Like it's talking about attempted suicide, and all these bad thoughts that lead to suicide and just horrible things. Saying I can't sleep when I've got all these people. They've got guns. They've got easy access to basically just do whatever they want and hurt themselves and all this stuff. So it goes into like, let's take this song, let's breathe together, let's take our hands, let's come together basically, and let's make a change, and let's recognize that, hey, we've got these issues and we're all dealing with them, but one way to combat them, let's just come together and let's fight them together. We're in this as a team. So I think that's a really good way to I think that's a really good unique way to bring people together and to combat these issues. So I see a similar thing in this next song, Truce, stay alive. And then the keywords here for me, he's saying, hey, if you're not gonna enjoy your life, then stay alive for me, And then it goes on to say, you will die, but right now your life is free. Like take pride in what is sure to die. Like you're gonna die one day no matter what. So like you completely have the option to take your life and like do something with it. Like in the end, you're gonna die. So right now, let's make use of the life that you have. Let's take initiative. Let's find purpose. And that is really something that sticks out to me. Like, um, a lot of people can struggle when it comes to with these thoughts because they don't feel like they have any reason to live in the world. So he's basically saying, hey, let's go out there, let's find that purpose. And if you struggle to find it, then for now, just your purpose is to stay alive for me. And he's just helping people um realize that they're important. Um so mental health today, obviously very much still a prevalent issue. And through COVID, I feel like it's gotten even more prevalent as people have been forced inside their homes and like um just um forced to spend a lot more time by themselves, and which can cause more time to think and overthinking and just issues on issues. So we can see that at least 13% of people between ages 10 and 19 have a diagnosed mental health disorder, which which is very upsetting to hear. Like um so as these issues continue to rise, that just makes it like so much more important that we gotta take these steps um to make sure that we can save these people from basically suffering or killing themselves. We gotta take initiative and we gotta save these people. Um we can see just the amount of people in these statistics um that are hurting themselves and that are suffering. So from a public health perspective, how we could approach mental health issues, and I think there's several different ways. I think we should take it down to the bone, the causes. Um, anything could be considered a cause of a mental health issue, but right, let's get the main, like the ones that are almost guaranteed to cause these issues: poverty, inequality, adverse childhood experiences. These things, like if I were in this situations, I think no matter who you are, you're gonna be upset and it's gonna affect you for the rest of your life. Um, so obviously those are whole separate issues, but in the meantime, some peer support programs, like helping people out, making people feel supported, and making it really easily accessible. And I think a very easy way to do that is through education. As people grow up, they should learn about how they can get help. Because as those statistics said, a lot of these people experiencing these issues are kids who are in school still. So I think that says a lot about how we could improve our education systems to allow people to go get help. And a lot of the times people don't want to go get help. And so I think that's where research comes into play. Like, how do we identify people experiencing these issues if we don't know who has them? Because a lot of people won't admit that they have them. A lot of people don't want to get help. They're too afraid to, something like that. So yeah, those are some really good options from the public health perspective. So what surprises me about this album, well, it has a lot of ways in which mental health affects people, first of all. But I'd say the most like important thing to me about this album, like the thing that sticks out to me the most that I realized as I really broke down this album for this presentation, was how they bring people together. Like I've been to two concerts by them, and I've loved their music forever, and I haven't really broken down their music like as much as I do now. And you can just see like how their methods of bringing people together, making people feel like, hey, I'm important. Like this is I matter. Like at like their concerts and stuff, they have like speeches where it's not like necessarily like a speech, it's like it's a conversation with people saying like, hey, I want to get to know you on a personal level, even though there's a million of you and one of, two of us. And more specifically during this album, just a lot of the lyrics have to do with bringing people together, taking each other's hands, bringing each other up, and just making each other the best people we can be, and digging each other out of these holes that we've dug ourselves into. Um, so yeah, that's definitely my favorite thing about this album and what surprises me the most. I love how they bring people together. I love how they represent those issues and saying, hey, there's nothing wrong with these issues, with having these issues, but we're gonna get ourselves out of this situation together. So yeah, that's my I love this album, so that's my presentation on it.